In this episode, we find out whether a Mitsubishi Colt Rodeo is a good used buy.
We compare Bakkies from Nissan, Mitsubishi and Isuzu.
And we diagnose squeaky noises in a Honda Civic.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. Every week we try to provide you with useful advice, whether it relates to buying, selling or maintaining a vehicle. If you've got a question for the team, you can send an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za and contain as much information as possible, as well as a nice picture of yourself.
And joining us in studio to help resolve those troubling automotive issues are Brandon Staniford from Marula Media and Richard Marshall from Chery, South Africa. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Thank you
Nice
very
to
much.
have you in studio. All right, let's get into our first question, which comes from Dingan. His uncle is considering a 2000 Mitsubishi Colt Rodeo V6 4x4 with under 200,000 kilometers on the clock. Fuel cost isn't a concern, but he wants to know about reliability for daily use and light hauling, as well as the availability of parts over the next 5 years. His budget is 200,000 Rand. Would this be a good purchase? Brendan?
So, my first question is, how is fuel not an issue? If someone says fuel's not an issue,
He owns his own petrol station.
So take the fuel.
He's going to need it.
Take the fuel money and buy a better car.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
Spend less on fuel.
That's a good point.
So, fuel is going to be an issue. Someone's going to moan somewhere because we're talking 6 k's a litre instead of 10 in.
Yeah, but anybody wants to spend 200,000 Rand on a 2000 model
Yeah.
Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
This is a problem here, gentlemen.
So I do think the engines were reliable, but 2000, it's 24 years old. Parts are going to become a chore.
They already are a problem.
And for me, when someone says, phone this oak, he has a connection in Japan. No,
Send a smoke signal.
I'm out. Dude, take some of your fuel money, add 50, 60 grand, go and find a 2010 Isuzu. I'm out. Yeah.
Richard, do you agree with that?
Yeah, look, again, those motors were very strong, but on a 2000 model, just by being around for 25 years, anything that's made of rubber is going to be time for replacing. So you're going to struggle a little bit. You can go and get a old petrol Hilux. Most people are going to
About diesel Hilux.
You could, but it's going to have been around the world.
Yeah, but that's fine.
62 times.
It's still going to last.
If it exists.
Yeah.
And they don't borrow it from you without asking. You could get a 4-litre V6, as most people would gravitate towards, but you can also go and get a 2.7. Very boring motor, but terrible resale on those because people don't really want them. So if you want to plod around
heavy
town...
as hell on
Yeah,
fuel.
same as
yes.
So you might as well buy the V6 Colt then.
We have the disclaimer there where fuel's not a concern. I do agree with you though. if you're spending 6,000 Rand a month on fuel, because you will easily, there's not a lot of petrol stations you're driving past.
Yeah.
I would look for something that is diesel and a little bit younger and will do a bit better consumption and up your budget from 200 to 260.
But even for 200,000, I would rather look around for a bakkie that you can find in. So, from what he sounds like, he's using it for like a little run around here and there. Go buy an NP300. I know Brandon's going to say, they're not safe.
Yeah, I like them.
But you buy an NP300. The old hard body double cab thing. It's a very basic bakkie, but it's a hell of a lot better and rides a lot better than the old Mitsubishi.
Look, that hard
Colt.
body, you say it's not safe. It's not less safe than that Colt.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say no. I think we're all saying no. One, it's too expensive fuel. I know you don't care about fuel, but also the parts availability on them are a nightmare.
It's the first time in a long time I got to say no to a Mitsubishi.
There we go. So we're going to move on to our next question, which is from Arnold, and he's a 30-year-old professional. He has a maximum budget of 300,000 Rand and he's searching for a hatchback for personal and work travel. While he prefers the VW Polo Life, he's also considering the i20, Toyota Starlet, Kia Rio, Suzuki Swift, Ford Fiesta, and a whole bunch of other options suitable for work use. Richard, let's start with you. Whole bunch of cars there. 300,000 Rand is a nice budget for a hatchback. Where would you put him?
It's healthy. You can get whatever you like on that list, and to be honest with you, you could print them out on nice big pieces of paper, stick it on your wall and throw a dot.
Yeah.
And pick whichever one it lands on. I would go for the Rio or the R20. I just prefer them a little bit. I think there's too many Starlets on the road. I've been in a couple Starlets. I find them a little bit boring. Look, not that any of these cars are going to, make your hair stand up. But
You should actually then try the Suzuki Baleno.
Well, that's the same as a Starlet.
Yeah. Well, we'll save a bit of money at least.
Yeah, we'll save a bit of money, yeah.
Yeah, I'd get a Rio. I like the Rio. I think it looks a little bit nicer. They're nice inside. I like the interior build quality.
It's a solid car, isn't
That's
it?
a
Yeah.
great car.
Yeah, and
Or
I actually prefer the design of that compared to the new i20.
Agreed.
The
yeah.
new i20 is a little bit quirky, Brendan.
So you don't get a Rio anymore.
Yeah.
So and at 300, 250 to 300, in my opinion, you can have brand new.
Yeah.
I would go new Swift is where I would spend my money. Yes, these oaks are going to clap me because I keep saying just buy Swift, buy Swift.
But it's, I mean,
But it's the car in that market. It's a car in that niche.
it's the
isn't it,
best one
Brandon?
in the segment, yeah.
In my opinion,
In new.
and you can have a brand new car with plan, with all the rest of it. So yes, my advice, you don't get a Fiesta anymore, you don't get a Rio
You
anymore.
don't want a Fiesta.
Yeah.
i20's never warmed my heart, so we're on different sides of the coin there. I'd go and buy a brand new Swift. And you could have a look at all of them. They're all under 300 grand, so
so you
could
could buy
have
the top of the range,
GLX,
everything.
auto, blah
yes.
blah, CarPlay, big screen, 1.2 3-cylinder, 62 kilowatts I think, goes beautifully. Will do 21 k's a litre every day of the week.
Yeah.
And the CVT gearbox
CVT
is
is great. If you just like, I cannot drive an auto, you can have a manual, but the new CVT on the Swift is proper.
But
It's
he likes
great.
the Polo. What about a Polo? Besides the fact that they steal them and they
Polo
expensive to
Vivo.
fix?
Polo Vivo was redone recently in terms of let's take the risk out.
Yeah.
So the Vivo
car.
is exquisitely made. It's built locally. It's really lovely to drive. It's really, really good.
So how they managed to take the risk out? Took the wheels off the car.
No, you can't. So if I want to say, if you're armed or you're not scared, have the Polo. But dude, I don't know of anyone that wants to get shot at or a car stolen. It's just
It's actually quite sad. You know, we talk about the Polo, the Vivo. I think it's a great car.
That's lovely.
Very nice car drive. It is solid. It's most probably one of the better products that VW make.
Yes.
It's like the Hilux. Same story.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is where we live and the environment that we live in. Do you want to risk your life on that? And there are other options. If no option, you buy that. But if there are other options, I'm with you. You go for a Swift or a Rio. The Rio is a bit more spacious, but the Swift, you're buying brand new, you're getting all the warranties with it, and you're going to have some change in your 300,000 rand budget. You may be able to take some of that change and say, you know what, I get what is the service plan? Maintenance plan is like 45,000.
It's
It's a service plan on
2
the
year
Swift.
30.
2 year
so
30.
Yeah.
Take
So
your
you just
change
say,
and make it a 5
Make it 5 year.
Yeah.
And just throw it in there, and you're paying for it now. And for the next 5 years, you're only paying if you're financing it, you're only paying your monthly premium. You're not worrying about anything. So I'm with you in terms of that. Go for the Swift, and it's very, very good.
And just so that our viewers out there know, Suzuki aren't paying us anything.
Yeah. No, they're not. No, they're
Yeah.
not.
Stay tuned because after the break we compare Bakkies from Nissan, Mitsubishi and Isuzu.
And SUVs under 600,000 rand come under the spotlight. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Theo is a 30-year-old from the Western Cape, and he's seeking a second-hand 4x4 bakkie with a budget of 350,000 rand. He needs a reliable vehicle for family fishing and camping trips. Here we go, we've got the man here. Involving off-road and dirt road driving. Options include Nissan Navara, Mitsubishi Triton, or Isuzu. He currently drives a 2015 Ford Focus 1.5 EcoBoost, which he likes, but he's willing to sell it and use it as a deposit. Mr. Caravan Camping Man.
Yes.
This man tows everything with a caravan. What were you towing the other day? I think you had like
I towed my caravan with a T-Cross,
with a Mickey Mouse
a
car.
VW T-Cross.
Really?
I didn't even know they had tow bars on
Yeah.
those cars.
Yeah, it's got a 1.3 ton towing capacity.
Well, okay, so
And it towed the caravan. It pulled it over the hill. That's not for his application. Not.
no, not at all. Yeah.
So my question is, does he daily the Focus? So if he does daily and he does some traffic driving, etc., maybe you don't want to replace your daily with a 4x4.
But he wants to. He says he wants to.
If he wants to,
He wants to go fishing. He wants to
he wants
go
to do
camping.
fishing and camping and that sort
Trek
of
his
thing.
caravan. boy.
I would do a 4x4.
Yeah.
Especially heading into his lifestyle.
Yeah.
It depends what he's looking for. If you want a slightly more comfortable car, a slightly higher power car, maybe the Triton.
Yeah.
Navara is really good in terms of suspension. So if
Yeah.
you want the softest riding, lovely, squishiest one, the Navara. And if you're looking for bulletproof reliability, drive it for 1,000 years, the Isuzu.
Okay, Richard.
So I tend to agree there. Other on the 4x4 thing, if you have a look on the used market, the 4x4 adds substantial rands and cents to the cost of your car.
Big demand for them, yes.
Big demand. And a lot of people don't realize how far you can get with a 4x2 bakkie that's just got a basic diff lock or something like that. Also, learn to drive the car in that manner. You'll be surprised genuinely how far you can get with some low tire pressures in a 4x2 bakkie. And if it's going to save you a whole ton of money and give you a newer, lower mileage car, then I would look at it. But if you are wanting to go deep into the bush, then of course
get a mate who's got a 4x4 who can pull
borrow
you out
it.
for some.
Yeah,
Just borrow it, you know.
pull you out.
But
Do you agree that
Navara,
the three are good, yeah.
they're good cars. Although in the 350 market, you're going to be looking at that D23, that 2.3 twin turbo, which I'm not a massive fan of that motor. I've heard one or two horror stories. They can go boom.
So then buy an Isuzu.
I would get a Triton.
Yeah,
I'd get a Triton.
I'd get a
as well,
Triton.
yeah.
With their worst resale, you're going to get a newer, younger, lower mileage vehicle than
And one of the
an
best
Isuzu.
4x4 systems of the lot.
Well,
Yes.
it's
Very
super
good.
select.
Yes.
Is
That's
Super
unbelievable.
select on the fly.
And yes, I would trade in my Focus without a doubt.
So there you go. It's the Isuzu or the Triton. Look around, see if you can find in 4x4, or as Richard says, get a 4x. I was going to say 4x2, because it is a 4x2.
Yes, it is 4x2.
Not a 2x4.
No,
a
4x2,
4x2, yeah.
4x2. Just a diff lock will get you into place as well. Depends on the kind of stuff you want to do. But those Tritons are excellent. The Isuzus are excellent. And trading the Eco Boom and get yourself
And
a
Adam,
Bakkie.
you got to explain why you say Eco Boom, because those engines are boom. Boom. Yes. Right. Our next question is from Eric, who hails from Kareja. He has a budget of 600,000 and is interested in purchasing a Toyota Corolla Cross. He would like to know if this is a good choice or if there are other SUV options he should consider.
Richard, lots of money you can spend for
Yeah.
600 grand. Lots of cars, yeah.
I'm not spending it on a Toyota Corolla Cross.
Why not? It's a good car.
In my opinion, it's not the best car they've put on the road. Almost every other thing is nicer.
Yeah.
They don't do that much very well. They're lazy, they're slow, they're boring, they're thirsty, they're expensive, there's risk. Yes, they're bulletproof and their resale is decent, but you can't buy a car now just thinking about selling it. You need to get the value and the use and the enjoyment out of it over these few years.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. Yeah.
Exactly. I know a few people who've bought them and they don't like them. They don't like that car. I would get a T-Cross.
Yeah.
I really like T-Crosses. I think they look the part. 600k is basically brand new. You got all your plans and everything in place. They're built nicely. They look nice. They feel nice. They've got toys inside. You can go and get a Chery Tiggo 7 Pro Max if you would like.
Yeah, it's a good option. Yeah.
For way under 600 grand.
Yeah.
Go shop now and you'll be surprised what you can get.
Some good deals.
Far under that price.
Brendan, do you agree with that?
Part of.
Yeah.
So the Corolla Cross, I don't dislike as much as you do, and the Corolla Cross hybrid is really good on fuel. So, and at 600 you could have a hybrid. So, it's not as awful an option in my opinion as what Richard thinks. However, 600 grand plenty. So, Corolla Cross in my mind is a 450 car, not a 600 grand car.
Yeah.
At 600, Sportage diesel is probably what I would go looking for.
Also very nice car.
1.6 CRDI, it's got a dual clutch gearbox, lacquer screen inside. It's not really a big risk. Kias are ultimately reliable.
Yep.
They've got an unlimited 5-year unlimited mileage warranty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And if you do mileage, 5-year unlimited warranty, when you could do 1 million Ks, the car's still under warranty.
Yes.
So I would probably go looking at 600 grand. I'd probably go look for a Sportage diesel.
I like that. Yeah.
When a manufacturer puts out that kind of warranty, it just says one thing to me immediately.
Yep.
That car is going to last you.
You know,
Because they don't just hand those warranties
that
out.
Tiggo 7 that he's offering, so the Tiggo 7, if he's the first owner, 1 million kilometer, 10-year 1 million kilometer
There's loads
warranty
of
on
T's
the
and C's.
engine.
Yeah.
Well, it's still 1 million Ks.
Is it, Richard, is it just the engine or is it anything else in that million?
So you've got, depending on model, but on your 7 Pro Max and 8 Pro Max, your upper price range cars, it's a full 5-year 150. On some of them, it's 7-year 150,
Yeah.
and then it's 10 years million on the engine.
Just the engine.
It
So
is
it's not
for
gearbox or
first
drivetrain.
owner at the moment. Watch the space. Something is happening.
Okay, that's interesting.
We're
to know.
about to roll
Change things.
something that will add that value across the
That
board
sounds
to a
fantastic.
select.
But I like the Corolla Cross because, I'm an older guy, and I don't mind boring, and I would go for something like that. Oh yeah, I just want to go from here to there, backwards and forwards for the next 50 years. The Corolla Cross will do that. But I'm with you, and I hear what you say. It is bland, it is boring, and there are other options that are more interesting. The Chery 7's a great option, and I very much like your Kia. I know a friend of mine's got a Kia Sportage, and he loves it. It's the 1.6 diesel, and
really
I
lovely.
actually drove it the other day. I hadn't driven one from Kia, and I drove his, and it was like, this is really, really
Cool
nice.
design.
It
I
feels
like the way it looks as well.
Yeah.
It's a
They're good
very
cars.
Good-looking
pretty looking car, yeah.
spacious,
Spacious.
looks good,
Light on fuel.
really nice inside. It
Great-
feels
Great resale.
it feels premium.
Yeah.
It just feels premium. So there's a whole bunch of
It is
options for you to
premium.
look at. Yeah.
It is.
It is
Is
premium.
premium.
But if you wanted to buy a Corolla Cross because that's the kind of car you
Just
like,
buy the hybrid.
Yes.
go with Brandon's.
Get a bit of power.
Brendan, buy the hybrid because your fuel consumption is going to be like, the more you drive, the more it fills up. It's that light on fuel. Okay. Now we've taken a short break, but when we get back, we explore the safety of 7-year-old tires.
And we diagnose squeaky noises in a Honda Civic. Hello and thank you for tuning in to Buyer's Guide. Kevin, based in Cape Town, owns a 2017 Toyota RAV4 2-litre automatic, purchased new and currently with only 13,000 kilometers on the clock. The vehicle is kept in a garage when not in use, and although his tires appear nearly new, he's curious whether they're still safe given their age.
Gee, I'd sell that whole car, really. I mean,
To me.
13,000 K, 7 years old. Look,
Just sell it now.
I'm
To
gonna,
you.
Just
Yeah.
Give,
Give us your number, please.
Here's my number. It's on the
On the bottom of the screen there, yeah.
I'll take it off your hands for you because it's going to blow up anyway. No, on a serious note, 7-year-old tires on a car that's done 13,000 Ks, do you change them?
No, not with the
Yes.
current cost of tires. He's plodding around.
Yeah.
If you're going to be on the open road in storms and horrible conditions, yes, definitely. But it's kept in a garage so they don't get exposed to the sun and the wet and the. So they're going to be the best 7-year-old tires currently
know so
around
much,
there.
hey.
But
Is
they
it-
do go
is it?
hard.
No, I
They do
don't
go
know so
hard, and you can lose that ultimate performance.
Well,
they get crusty.
I looked online, and according to the tire manufacturers,
5
they say
years.
they're good
Yeah.
for 10 years.
Oh,
So 10 years is the sort of,
There's a
depends on which manufacturer. though.
yes.
There's-
Yeah.
there's
Brendan, you got a
there's a tweak, yeah.
yeah,
So
there's a tweak.
caravans, 5 years. There's this unwritten rule, 5 years.
Yes.
5 years, because
No matter how new they look.
and they say your insurance will have you, etc., etc.
Yeah.
General Tyres, Continental, at a launch, I've asked them specifically. So they say there is on some brands, there's a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. On some, there's a 10-year manufacturer's warranty. However, does it stand still? And on what surface does it stand still? So if it's a porous surface, that will pull the oils from it.
Yes.
If the tyres don't get up to temperature, they will automatically go sort of, what do you
Crusty,
call it?
as
harden.
They harden and,
They
and
harden.
rot, etc., etc.
You,
So
you
there's-
see little micro cracks
Yeah.
all around the tire.
so all he needs to do is he actually needs to go down to the tyre shop. They overinflate them, take them off, have a look in the tread pattern. If it's starting to crack, the tyres are shot.
yeah.
And the main thing is tyres actually need to get up to temperature. When we say up to temperature, 40 degrees-ish, they need to run and turn. They regain their elasticity.
Yeah.
Standing on a cement floor, even if it's not standing in the sun,
They're going to deteriorate.
I could not tell you that the 7-year-old tyres with only 13,000 Ks on them are safe. I could not say that for
So,
sure.
so in terms of like you want to be safe in your car, and I think we would err on the side of caution here and say, you know what, you've had it for 7 years. Go out and buy yourself a new set of tires. That's another 7 years. I mean, that's the only thing you're going to spend on the car because you haven't even got to the first service yet.
Yeah, I would just have them check. My wife,
Yeah.
Renault, 30,000 Ks on a set of Michelins, and they were shattered. They were buggered.
Really?
And I got hold of it. I'm like, Oaks, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And she does 2Ks, 3Ks, 1K, 3K, 4K, 2K. Tires never get up to temperature. The tires are shot. They looked horrendous. I've replaced them with Continentals, but yes.
Okay.
So tires, that's a very big thing that's open for a wide debate. Just go
Yeah.
ahead and check.
And I think it changed from each manufacturer to manufacturer. And just remember as well, you bought your car and it is 7 years old. Those tires could have been manufactured 2 years prior. So have a look on the side of the tire because there's a little, I'll tell you what, it's easier if you Google it. How do we check the tire age of my car? And I'll show you how to do it because we don't have time. All right, now we're going to end off things from a question from John. He's 34 years old and he's from Durban. He owns a 2015 Honda Civic with only 120,000 k's on the clock, and he's noticed that his car makes a squeaking or squealing noise when he turns the steering wheel, especially at low speeds or when the vehicle is cold. Now he's wondering what be the potential cause of this noise and how can he fix it? Well, this is a very difficult question because we can't hear that
The
noise.
squeaking noise, yeah.
And like we often say at the beginning of the show, please send us as much information as possible. Does this noise come from inside your car, so from the steering shroud, or does it come from
Outside.
like a fan belt noise, or
Yeah.
does it come from the steering shaft? There can be so many things.
Or
that
when
could
he's
cause-
driving and then turning,
Yeah.
it squeaks. Because then it's a different squeak or squeal.
We're better mechanics than these oaks that have got a shop.
Okay, tell us where's the
It's the
squeak.
power steering pump.
Oh, but there we go. It's
There
the
we go, it's a power steering pump, yeah.
Get a new one.
Get a new one, done and dusted.
8,648 Rand plus labor plus VAT.
A lot of the power steering pumps, when he says a squeak, as you say,
Yeah.
we don't have the info. But a lot of power steering pumps, when you start turning, make a whirring noise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
You
they
know,
will.
because they're pumping. Ineos Grenadier on launch of the Quartermaster in the Kruger. It's something that's a calibration that they need to go and have a look at and change. My mind is saying it's probably the pump. A Polo, when you turn, the pump has a very fine.
Because it's electric.
Yeah.
It's an electric
It's
pump.
electric pump.
So-
electric steering. that
And they
you're
all
hearing.
do it.
Yeah.
And maybe his is making a real racket, and then we've said it's the pump, and then his suspension falls off. But
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
it's a belt, it's a loose belt, but only when cold.
I would suggest that you take it along to a Honda
Somebody,
dealer or a good workshop and take the technician and show him the noise. The problem with when it's only doing when it's cold, you may have to leave the car overnight. So
Low
that you see it
speeds,
first thing in the
Adam.
morning.
He says at low speeds.
At low speeds.
Yeah,
Well,
when-
it can be
or
fan
when the
belts, it
vehicle
can
is
be
cold.
tensioner, it can be rollers, it can be alternators making that noise. When you're turning the steering, you're putting a load on things.
Yes.
It could be, as Brandon says, it can be the power steering pump. There's many things that can happen with there. They are normally very, very strong, reliable cars. So certainly that kind of thing, I don't think it'll be anything too serious.
I think it's based something silly and small.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, we've come to the end of this week's show. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Brendan, for joining us and for the useful advice. I didn't know you were so technically fit. Ooh.
Thanks, guys. We much appreciate it. Until next time, please buckle up. Stay safe on the roads.